Well, hello there, LBF Church family. As you can see, we're not just having one person right here. We have two. I'm with Laurie Baez, our Life Kids director, and we thought it would just be great to kind of have a conversation with each other about what's been going on in our lives and how this COVID-19 situation has been affecting us, both maybe personally and also maybe in ministry-wise. And so we just want to take a couple of minutes and share with you that we're real life people just like you, and we experience the same things that you experience. And these are interesting times for us as a church. By the way, I would think I could speak for Laurie by simply saying we can't wait for church to start again, where we gather on Sundays and we have the opportunity to actually see you and talk to you face to face and shake a hand or give a hug. How about that, Laurie? You agree with that, right?
Most definitely. I really miss the kids. I miss the parents and seeing everybody in the hallways. It's been really hard to just produce videos, and everyone's been very gracious about that and very appreciative. But, you know, each week you're like, are they going to find this funny? Is this still informative to the kids? Like,
are they bored?
Are they bored? You know?
Yeah.
So, yes, I cannot wait until we all get back to church. So, but, you know, as far as a ministry level, I think there's a lot of things that we could definitely focus on that are hard, and I can get into some of those in a minute.
Let's talk about your home life for a minute first. That'd be great.
Okay, sure. As far as home life, I am working from home, and I have my kids at home with me. I have an 8th grader and a senior. And so it's been really devastating for all of us. And maybe that seems like a dramatic word to say, devastating, but this was the year of 2020. We were going to be celebrating and starting high school next year and moving on to college, and looking forward to all of those things like many other people out there. And that is something I have really struggled with at home, just mourning those losses. It's been sad and hard, and trying to stay motivated and positive, and let, you know, our kids know that the story's not over yet, that this is just a season. But it's been hard for me. I think out of all of us, my daughter Lola's been doing the best, honestly. So, it's been hard. And even today I made a post just about like, what are you grieving, you know, what's your loss or needing comfort. So I've been trying to focus a lot on verses that have to do with that, and was reading Matthew 5:4 today. But as you know, some of the positives, we get to have dinner together all the time now.
That's right.
Even my son was like, hey, these meals, I have to say, this is pretty good, you know. So
did you tell him not to get used to it though?
Yeah, don't get used to it, buddy. We'll be going back to bean and cheese burritos here real quick. So but what's been hard for you at home?
Well, people who know me know that I love hanging around people, and I don't like staying at home for very long. And, you know, being in this new situation where we're stay-at-home mode and trying to move my work life here at home, it's some people would say, I really love it. It'd be great to work at home. But, you know, I really miss the contact. I know, Laurie, as we have meetings together, you know, it's one thing to talk to you on like this, and I can see your face, and we can, but it's different. It's really different. Because it's a little bit hard to be free flowing in the conversation, and I have a tendency to talk over people. But I mean, these are like things you just have to get used to. And so I remember one day I told Miriam, by the way, Miriam has an easier time of staying at home than I do. And we've adjusted to each other throughout the years. But I said, dear, I just got to get in the car, and I got to get out of this house, and I got to drive. And so, you know, I did some driving, and I really had no place to go, but I just wanted to see what was happening out there. And that helped. That helped a bit. And then when we've gone to the grocery store a couple of times, and just being able to be around people, we didn't run into anybody we knew, but those are kind of scary places right now where you're closer than 6 feet together and who knows who's touched what and all that. So there've been some adjustments. And then, in the early days, when we started this about 3 weeks ago, I was at the forefront of trying to, how do we make decisions on what to do? The whole thing started with 250 people, then it went to 50 people, and then 10 people, and then you can't, meet at all. And so all of those situations just required adjustments and changes. And that's been a bit stressful. It's like, when do I stop work and when do I rest? Does work ever stop? That first 2 weeks was really a lot. So just trying to get my rhythms of life back together, because I used to get up in the morning. I still get up in the morning, but I'd have my time with the Lord when it's still dark, have coffee, and then I'd get showered and dressed and ready to go into the office. And now I get showered and dressed and go back to the couch, or come upstairs to the office where I'm at right now. So it's been challenging just to get adjusted. But I have a feeling during this month of April that as we're going to be in this routine for at least through April, that we'll get adjusted a little bit better than where we are right now.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that I know I have found that my intentionality has shifted some because you were used to bumping into people in the hallways or seeing people at a sporting event or, all of those different things. And now you have to be really intentional about contacting people, or for work, setting up meetings and not being like, oh, hey, when you have a minute, can I grab, kind of a thing. I think that is important as we embrace the technology.
And then, for me on a personal level, it's like, I haven't actually seen any of my grandkids for about 3 weeks or more, whatever the time's been. And that's not normal.
Right.
And so it's not normal at all. And I know my son and I, we're going to set up a Zoom meeting on Saturday just to try and recapture, because they're down in Anaheim. And he says, hey, Dad, I can do this. I said, let's do it. I'd love to see those kids and what's going on in their lives. And you can have FaceTime, but it's a bit different. We get text and emails and stuff, but we love sitting on the couch talking with the kids or picking them up from school and doing those things. So, you know what? We're adjusting, aren't we? This has gone quick. Do you have anything else you want to add about ministry stuff real quick for you?
Well, just with ministry, I love that I get to partner with parents in a greater way right now. Like, that is something that is exciting that has transpired through all of this. And I think just a word for all of us, me and other parents out there and grandparents that are helping with kids and all of that. I think it's important for us to give ourselves permission to be okay that we're wrestling and struggling. Like, I'm one that just wants to be okay. Like, we're gonna be okay. And I think it's important for us to pause and be quiet for a moment and be like, it's okay that this doesn't feel okay.
I think that's a good word for this. Really is. It's okay not to be okay. When we come with changes are hard. No one likes change.
Right.
And this is all this has been. I mean, I told someone asked me how I was, my son asked me how I was doing. I said, well, I have food on the table. I have a warm home. I have a wife that I'm living with. I have 2 cars. I can drive some places. I have a computer hooked. I started being grateful for the things that I have. And that really has been helpful for me, instead of going, oh, this is not working well. These are just adjustments and changes.
Right.
And it's not fun. I mean, I don't think anyone alive today could say they've ever experienced anything like this in our country's history. I mean, for us to have this kind of response to an infectious virus. I mean, I get it. I understand it, agree with it. But I hope that we get our act together and we can get this thing under control, so we can go back to the kind of life. But I also believe we may not go back to the exact kind of life we had before. I think I was telling you earlier, Laurie, that I was driving down Euclid last night, and I just noticed the high volume, the high number of people walking up and down Euclid Avenue, and some were by themselves, some were couples, but there were families with kids, and they were walking together. And I thought, there's the dad, there's the mom, there's the kids. And I go, I don't normally see that when I go up and down Euclid Avenue on a Wednesday night. No. And so I think there's some good things happening, and maybe all of us will have an opportunity to make some what changes we're making now we can embrace when this thing changes.
Yeah, I definitely would imagine through the struggles of trying to homeschool and do all of those things, there are elements and moments of unity with families that wasn't there before because everyone was running in all kinds of different directions. And I think it's important for us to remember that and intentionally try to leave space for that in the future.
Yeah. Well, we've gone about what our time is supposed to be. So as the pastor of this church, I just want to share with you what the very first verse that came to me when we first started this back on March 12th, I think it was 13th. And we had to, in about 2 days, turn from going to a gathering to a video service. This is what the Lord took me to. It's a very familiar scripture. And I just want to leave us with this today. Sure. It says in Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's what I've got to be doing. I got to learn and continue to learn how to trust in the Lord right now. And don't lean on your own understanding. Okay, well, I can do that too. Right. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. I want straight paths. I know, Laurie, you want straight paths. Yes, I know our church people do. So let us submit to him, trust in him, and ask him for the ability to just live in the moment and enjoy the moment as much as we can. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope this has been a great time. And I hope it's meaningful to you to hear from those of us who are on staff and just that we are experiencing many of the same things you are. So until next time, we do another LBF Daily. See you again, and God bless.